Hello, and welcome to my review of the Shrill Cries of Summer, aka Higurashi live action movie 2008. If you haven't seen it already, we do have a full-timer reaction of the movie on the channel. Literally posted yesterday when this was posted, so if you haven't watched it yet, then feel free to watch along there. It could be fun. You know, I'm just trying to say it, dude. I thought it was a good movie, or at least like better than I thought it would be. I think they really made it their own, I guess. Like they made it into, they adapted it, like obviously not like super accurately, but like I don't know, it felt good as a movie. But we'll go over it for a little bit. So let's go over the story. Obviously, I knew beforehand that this would be on Atatushi and the sequel would be Sumi Horoboshi, because you know they're both connected. And you know, it did kind of stay the Untitled path, at least like the main like parts of it. They did mix it up a bit. Some I thought were good choices, some I thought weren't great. There's like a couple cool, like they did a couple cool things, you know, calling to other arts and stuff that wouldn't be relevant to the story really in Untitled. Like they showed the bridge from Totorigoroshi, the storehouse from Watanabe, all like cool things that you don't really get to experience in the movie series. So it was kind of nice to see that. I do think like some of their choices in combining scenes together and stuff to save time did kind of make the story a bit confusing. Just like, so you know, if you should know anyways if you've seen the movie, how instead of doing the Tomotaki and Takano scene on the shore after Watanabe, they did this weird thing where they went into the storehouse, obviously to show it off, and then they did the talk in there while revealing that the relationships from the murdered victims to like Satoko's parents died, and then the second murder, like the stuff they reveal in the Oishi encounter at the cafe. So when they actually go to the cafe and do the Oishi encounter, it's just kind of awkward. Just the whole shock of that encounter was Oishi revealing how the victims are related to the club members, like in some ways. So like stuff like that like seems like a little bit of an oversight, but there's definitely some moments that I think are cool that they've changed. Like I kind of like the earring thing for Takano, makes the whole fate body more, you know, probably less smart from Takano, to be honest. Like obviously the dental records are more legit, I guess, but like for a movie audience, you can definitely, you know, assuming you haven't read Higurashi, you know, this is your first Higurashi experience, feel like it comes off well. Obviously the biggest change that I thought was the most successful change for me was changing the ending chase scene. Now I will say, like going into the movie, I'm like, oh my god, will we actually see the chase scene, because it got trimmed in the anime, and it is my favorite scene of Anu Takashi. And you know what, they did trim it in this, but I actually like the change. I think it's one of the cooler scenes in the movie, showcasing Keiichi's craziness, or I guess high symptom levels, which I guess we'll talk more about in the filming. But they tend to like, because like during the chase scene, Keiichi's basically like having a fever dream and is, you know, hallucinating stuff. Like you assume he hallucinated the villagers that strangled him out or whatever. And it's just like it's cool because you have the villagers chasing him like with the demon masks, which is mountain dogs chasing him, which are the real enemy, and the fact that they're kind of combining together, like showing both truth and superstition was really cool. And then you get the little Rika and Satoko, where Rika, kind of giving a shout out to her whole character arc, because obviously with the decision of adapting Nanukatsushi and Sumi Horoboshi as movies, they're not gonna go to the Rika storyline, or it'll be very brief. Showing where she says, "Oh, this is the end," obviously referring to the end of this world. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff I think they do. I think they lose it a little bit in some story confusing stuff. Like, that's a little confusing, but assuming if you aren't a Higurashi virgin, you can easily piece it together. So it wasn't that bad of a problem for me. Just like, it does feel a little bloated at parts. Let's talk about filming. Honestly, like, not bad. Yes, it's probably, I don't actually know the budget. I'm assuming it's kind of low budget just because there are some cheap effects. But I think, gore-wise, yes, cheap. Sometimes the blood looks bad. A lot of them are pretty effective. I think, yes, Keiichi killing Mion and Rena scene was kind of underwhelming, but they did make up for it for the throat-ripping scene that lasted like 3 to 5 minutes of Keiichi just ripping out his throat. That was really disgusting and cool. Yes, there are cheesy scenes with cat-eyed Rena and stuff that didn't look great, but I'll hand it to them. At least filming wise, they tried to make it stylish. Now, not all of it was effective. I think some of it looks still looked low budget, but at least I understood what they were going for. Like, a lot of close-ups during conversations to like kind of build tension and stuff. And it did work sometimes. Like, there's sometimes where it failed, like the cafe scene with Oishi. I kind of hated that scene, like, just in general. Filming definitely didn't help. But sometimes I think they do a good job at it. It's, obviously it's not like top level filming, but like, basically my rule of thumb is if you try and I can kind of understand what you're going for. As like, I'm not a film expert or anything. But I don't know, I appreciated it. I think it worked in some parts, looked cheap in some other parts, but decent job. I think the best part, maybe filming wise, is the chase scene, right? Like, I really liked how they depicted Keiichi's descent into madness. Like, this is like probably the coolest part of the movie for me. Like, you have the Hagi scene, and what's cool about that scene in both the anime and the visual novel, Mion and Rena looked super fucking scary, right? Because Keiichi's high level. But, later it's revealed that they weren't scary. But in this one, they look kind of normal. A little creepy, but kind of normal. And then then it just goes crazy as, like... So it shows, like, kind of, like, Keiichi's descent into madness more. Because, like, the lines were very blurred in the visual novel and anime just because they had, like, all these arts to, like, kind of reveal it. But in this one, it makes it a lot more obvious that Keiichi was the one going crazy. And I thought it was, like, kind of cool, honestly. Like, then you get the whole Mion discussion, which, I was confused in the reaction. I'm like, is that Shion? Because she's talking about Shion's theory, but I think that was just a shout out to Shion, honestly. Like, I don't think it was actually Shion. I think it was just him going crazy. And then they used Mion's crazy speech to get back at Keiichi. Kind of combining both a Rena thing and, like, Shion's speech from... or Shion's theory from Mayatashi, which was, like, kind of dope. And then you just have the whole Rena scene, finger crunching into the chase scene. I think that was, like, my favorite segment, honestly. Like, they did a very good job at Keiichi's insanity. Well, quote unquote insanity. I don't know if you can call it that. Just the level 5 state was definitely the highlight for me. OST, it was good. I think the the intro and the ending were kind of a bopper. The vocals, the OST itself, I couldn't really find on YouTube. Hence why I'm using my OST playlist on the channel. I mean, I saw a couple, but like, whatever. I thought it was pretty good. You know, it's like an impossible bar, but nothing offensive. It was creepy at some points. Good enough for me. That's all I can really ask for. Okay, let's talk about character performances, because this is like the most fun part. You know, I'm gonna keep it real. Mion, Rena, Keiichi, good job. I actually really like their performances. I think they all killed it. Like, Keiichi had like, the actor had like his energy. I think he did really well, you know. Little pervy here and there. Like, also I love the intro where it showed Keiichi coming to Hinamizawa, which was a really cool story decision, and showing him like a month later how he already adapted because of his bullying problem. Yes, that's one of the changes they made in his backstory. Instead of shooting BB guns, he was bullied out of school, which was, it was nice seeing how he transitioned from kind of edgy to happy, back to edgy again, which wasn't nice. But like, you appreciate that a little more after learning Keiichi's backstory, even though it's been changed. It's still kind of cool to see. But yeah, Keiichi performed well. I thought Mion like kind of overperformed. I thought she might have my favorite performance. Aiden, that's just because you're a Mion fan. Like, not true, but like maybe a little. I think she had like the cadence and the voice. She really kind of nailed the relationship between Keiichi and Mion, where they're good friends, but it is kind of awkward. I liked how they depicted the relationships too, right? Like, how like touchy it was, which like, I guess in the anime and visual novel it's like you don't feel as weird, but in real life when I saw it I was like, oh my god, they're so touchy, man. But that just shows how good friends they are. It's not like a weird touchy, it's just like highlighting their friendship, which I think is kind of cool. The fishing scene with Mion, dude, you know, I know this is like a more of a Rena arc, but I feel like, you know, maybe biases are showing. Keiichi as Mion in the movie universe seems a little better. At least, you know, coming from, I'm trying to be a neutral standpoint, I honestly think they're kind of shipping Keiichi and Mion a little harder. Sorry, Rena. But Rena performed good too. It's kind of hard to say with Satoko since she doesn't really have much spotlight in this movie. So I'm just gonna say fine. Rita's freaking weird, dude. So there's this thing in the reaction where I was confused, because it originally shows Rita with like pretty short hair, like to like the bottom of her neck, and then they show her in a shrine outfit and she has a long ass ponytail. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Was I just wrong? But I double checked, and whenever she's in her student uniform, haircut, whenever she's in her shrine outfit, long ponytail, it makes me think that they're like two different actresses. Now I could be wrong, but like, I don't know what's going on with that. It's a little crazy, man. Like, I'm not even lying. Go check it back if yourself. There's like, sometimes she's short haired and sometimes she's long haired. Like, just when she's in her shrine outfit. Now, it doesn't matter too much since you don't get to see much of her. So I'm just gonna put a neutral mark on their performances. I guess, like, Satoko kind of nailed the playful, bratty type, but we just didn't get enough of her. And we, like, definitely didn't get enough of Rita. Though it was cool to see the sacrificial dance, or ceremonial dance. Takano, you know, as a Takano fan, pleasantly surprised that we got way more Takano than I was expecting. Performance-wise, decent. Not as good as the club members. Decent. Now, yes, Takano is creepy. They definitely nailed the creepy, mysterious persona, but I kind of said in the reaction, and I know it's a little cringy, but like, I don't think they nailed like the sexiness. Like the thing with Takano, yes, she's creepy, but she's also very teasing. And maybe it's just Ito Miki's voice, but like the teasing also is kind of like both like just, I guess the nature of teasing can kind of be nailed down to like a little bit of sexualness. I know it sounds weird, but it's just like part of her character, dude. I think they like went too heavy on the creepiness. Like they tried a little bit, like maybe at the end they Tatano's last words to Keiichi, stuff like that, but it didn't really like have that charisma Takano has that I love. So decent though, decent. I don't think it was too bad of a performance. Tomotaki, they just went with like a whole new Tomotaki, dude. It's an interesting choice. I like I said in the reaction, Tomotaki is generally like more polite, it seems, a little more nervous around Takano. In this one, he was kind of like laid back. I don't want to say sleazy, but he seemed like little sleazy. It's kind of a weird take, but I respect it. Not buff enough though. Irie, he looked the part. Didn't get enough Irie though. Okay, we'll talk about the elephant in the room. Oishi. I did not like Oishi's performance. It's kind of funny because also the actor for Oishi is like the most famous person in the cast. I've actually seen him in a couple things. Mainly, I remember him from Hero. He was like the simp guy. Anyways, like popular actor. I just don't think he really fit the role. He didn't really like in every other person like Mion, Rena, Keiichi, they all like kind of fit the role. They tried to act like how they would act, right? Like this Oishi, he just didn't have the charisma. He felt very not flat, but like you know, the Oishi we know, he's a little manipulative. He has this intimidation factor. And this one just didn't really feel that. Like, sometimes he did. Sometimes he did with the close-ups and stuff. Kind of aided in that. But the majority of the time, he didn't. Maybe he just didn't laugh. And I mean, he did laugh. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. It also doesn't help that, like, the cafe scene was, like, the worst scene ever. And he was, like, the main part of it. Like, you know, I don't like Oishi's actor. The camera work was really sucky. It felt very weird since they already mentioned the relationships between the victim and the club members. It was just such a long, like overly long and boring scene. So like, I don't know. Oishi, I'm not feeling it. Sorry, man. Yeah, character design, I mean, Keiichi, like, probably looks the most like Keiichi. I mean, Mion's rocking the ponytail. What more can you want, I guess? Rena looks completely different, but cute. I do appreciate the big hat they gave her, at least. And she does wear, like, ribbons in her hair that are kind of, simulate the big bow. Satoto looks completely different, but I did make that comment in the reaction that maybe for the better, at least hairstyle wise. I don't know what's going on with Rika. Irie looks spot on. Takano's, yeah. I don't know. We'll see if Takano gets some new drip in the next movie, I guess. Tomotaki looked spot on, to be fair. Oishi's whatever. I don't actually. I wasn't paying attention to his drip because I didn't like him. You know, shout out to Keiichi's shirt. The fuck, I call it the fuck shirt, just because it was like just fuck everything. I guess it was like fuck. I don't even remember. It was so ridiculous, and every time I saw Keiichi with the Adidas bag, I don't know why, it just made me laugh, man. But yeah, good drip. You love to see it. What else do we have? You know, shout out to Hanyu. You know, I went into the movie thinking we would not get Hanyu just because, you know, she doesn't appear. They show a little bit of Hanyu. Now, she looked like a freaking demon thing at the end, but nice Hanyu reference. Like I said, I think they actually nail the references pretty well with keeping it like yes, it gets convoluted, but it's not really because of the references. It was just more of the choices they chose on how to merge the scenes. But the references are dope. I don't know. I think this is honestly like kind of a good movie. Now again, I don't know how good this would be for a Higurashi virgin, like their first Higurashi experience. But to me, at least, it feels like a decently digestible adaptation of Anutakishi, where they do make it their own. Character performances are good. Love the Mion Etsukeshi ship. I don't know if that was their intention, but that's how it came off to me. Gore good, like just good stuff. I'm excited. I do plan on watching the next one. Now, kind of suffering from the same thing with this one where I can't exactly find it, but when I do, but just, you know, keep your schedule open for the future because I probably will react to it sometime. And I'm excited. It was good. It's way better than I thought it was. Kind of a banger. Kind of like an indie banger. No cap. But yeah. Anyways, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this movie reaction. If you didn't watch the movie review, if you're interested in the reaction, it's in the channel. If you're interested in Higurashi, we basically reacted to everything but the next movie, the live action series, and Go and Sotsu, which is coming up soon. And if you're into movies in general, we have movie reactions. So lots of options if you're not subbed. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. And maybe I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Bum 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 bum. Okay.